In this video, I'll demonstrate how to work with asset inventory. Organizations can classify many different types of assets, including personnel, equipment, IT systems, data, and so on. Here we're talking about asset inventory for computing devices. And instead of going around and gathering that physically and manually, there are many centralized enterprise class automated ways to gather inventory. Here in Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager, or SCCM, we can go to the Assets and Compliance workspace, which I've already clicked on in the bottom left. On the left, we can then view our devices. Now here, Manage Devices will be listed under the Client column with the value of Yes. For instance, here I've got a Windows 10 computer, and if I right-click on it, I can choose Start, and I can then click on the Resource Explorer option to open up an area, I'll just maximize that window, where I can view any inventoried hardware related to that specific machine. So instead of going to that machine or remote controlling it to find out things such as installed software, memory, motherboard details, and so on, instead I can centrally view it here. Now, not only can I view things like hardware inventory, but if it's been configured, I'll also be able to view any software inventory. Now, what this will show me is any scanned software and categorize it by the company, in this case, Microsoft Corporation. But I can also expand the list and view other product details and vendor solutions for software that are installed on a machine. Now, again, this inventory could be very relevant if I want to deploy a new patch or another piece of software. It might require that an existing piece of software already be out there. Now, in the same way, here in the SCCM tool, what I could also do on the left is go to the monitoring workspace, where I can then run reports based on my inventoried assets. So for instance, if we were to scroll down to the hardware section, we would see that we could choose, for instance, from the hardware general category, a computer information for a specific computer type of report. And we could right click and run the report or create a subscription to it, for example, if we want this mailed to us automatically on a periodic basis. So there are other ways to also take a look at our assets in terms of software that's been inventoried. So if I were to go to the software, companies, and products folder on the left, I would see numerous reports over on the right, such as, for instance, the report called Count Inventoried Products and Versions for a specific product. Now, the other thing about asset inventory in the case of computing devices in this particular tool as well is that under the Assets and Compliance workspace, I could now build a new device collection. So I'll right click on the device collection link in the left-hand navigator to choose Create Device Collection. I'm going to call this Test. And for the limiting collection, I'll click Browse and choose All Systems as a starting point, and I'll click Next. Then on the Add Rule button on the next screen of the wizard, I'm going to choose a query rule. And I'm going to call this Query 1. And then I'll choose Edit Query Statement. Now, the point here is that if we've got asset inventory already done in terms of hardware and software for computing devices, then it really lends itself quite nicely to building collections of computers based on that gathered inventory. For example, if I were to go to the Criteria tab and click the New Criteria button, for simple value, I'm going to click the Select. And if we take a look here at this list of attribute classes, look at all the different things that we could build a new collection of devices based on. Anti-malware health status, any auto start software, whether a BitLocker is configured in a certain manner on the machine. If we go further down, even the type of desktop monitor that's being run, even the number of disk partitions can be queried, and so on. So once we've got asset inventory automated from a central location, it supports decision making. We can run reports, and it facilitates other IT functions such as building device collections containing devices that only have certain characteristics. In this video, we worked with asset inventory.